Thanks everybody for joining us. We're really glad you're here. Hopefully you're already having a great day. So, all right. Yeah. So thanks too for taking time out. We're trying to make it as easy as possible in terms of what's embargoed, what isn't embargoed. Speaking of what isn't embargoed, thanks to Ram, we've got some great news today, and we'd like to take you through that. Afterward, we'll have lunch in the tent, and the tracks will still be shut down until 12:30 after lunch, just so you know. But then again, we've got 3 more good hours, so as much time as you can or want to spend with us would be terrific. So why don't we get started with Ram? I'd like to introduce to you 3 folks who will talk to you about what we've got going on today. Of course, number 1 is Reid Bigland, President and CEO of Ram Brand, Chrysler Canada, Head of Sales for US. Reid?
Thanks. Well, thank you, Rick, and good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for coming to our Chelsea What's New event. This is always a great opportunity for you to check out our Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, and now Alfa products, and for the most part, put these products really to the limits without having to worry about getting a speeding ticket on the Chelsea Proving Grounds. But it's also a good opportunity for us to kind of recap how we're doing as a company and to showcase some of our new products. And this year is really no exception with respect to that game plan. I wanted to start off by just kind of recapping how we've been doing, primarily in the US market, a little bit in the Canadian market, and then talk about some of our new products. So calendar year to date in the US market, I know many of you are familiar with the industry. It's up 5%. If we look at how the Chrysler Group sales are going, from a total sales standpoint, our sales are up 13%. From a retail sales standpoint, those are sales that exclude sales to fleet companies and rental car companies. Our sales are up 19%, again against an industry backdrop that's up 5%. We also have the unique distinction, again, for being the fastest growing automaker in the country. We've picked up almost a full percentage point of total market share calendar year to date and 1.3 percentage points of retail market share, with the second fastest grower picking up 7/10. So we're pretty proud of that. As well, in the US marketplace last month, we achieved our 50th consecutive month of year-over-year sales growth, which really is indicative of our commitment to continuous improvement. And I know we have a number of Canadian journalists here. A very similar story up in Canada. Last month, we achieved our 54th consecutive month of year-over-year sales growth in the Canadian marketplace. And calendar year to date, we're solidly the #1 selling vehicle manufacturer in Canada. And all going well, we will be able to preserve that #1 position and finish 2014 as the highest seller in that marketplace. A number of keys to our success. If you look at our Jeep brand, just a tremendous year going. Jeep sales up in the US market almost 50% over the same period in 2013. And of course, our Ram brand is also contributing quite nicely. Last year here at the Chelsea What's New event, we showcased a number of our new Ram products. We articulated our commitment at Ram to be the best fuel economy, power, payload, and towing truck brand in the marketplace. And if you look at what we brought to market for our 2014 model year vehicles, the best fuel economy with our all-new 3-liter Eco Diesel at 28 mile per gallon fuel economy. And I know a number of you have driven that vehicle, and it's not uncommon. I was talking to Mike Herzing before this, to get well in excess of the 28 miles per gallon. Mike talks about getting 30 miles per gallon on his 3-liter Eco Diesel, and we're seeing those stories really all over North America. From a power perspective, 850 pound-feet of torque with our big 6.7-liter Cummins, 30,000 pounds of towing capability, and of course 7,320 pounds of payload. And fortunately for us, a lot of those numbers have translated into the marketplace for the Ram brand. Calendar year to date, Ram brand sales are up 24% this year. Our Ram ProMaster, which we just brought to market 6 months ago, has gone from, in essence, 0% of the Class 2 van market to right around 15% of the Class 2 retail commercial van market. And at Ram, we also have a very unique growth streak going. We've achieved through May our 49th consecutive month of year-over-year sales growth. And again, implicit in those sales streaks is the notion that we're not standing still. We're continuously working on ways to improve our products and looking at bringing incremental products to the marketplace that we think can drive incremental growth. And today is really no exception. It is my pleasure to introduce to you some of the newest products to hit our Ram portfolio. And before I do, I'd like to introduce Bob Hegbloom to come out. Bob is the director of the Ram truck brand, and Mike Cairns. Mike is the engineering director for Ram trucks, who are going to help me out a little bit. These are my fashion models here, these guys that are going to play Vanna White. She wasn't available, so I got these two guys. So Bob, why don't you grab that one? Mike, grab this one, and we'll introduce the all-new Ram ProMaster City. In just a minute, I'm going to pass things on to Bob, who's going to get into the ProMaster City in a little bit more detail. But I can tell you, this is a proven performer. It's derived from the Fiat Doblo, two-time International Van of the Year. This van has sold over 1.3 million units worldwide. So coming into the North American marketplace, even though it's new for our market, this is no stranger to cargo applications as well as passenger applications throughout the world. When this vehicle hits the streets in about 6 months here in the North American marketplace, you're going to find it offering best-in-class horsepower, best-in-class torque, best-in-class payload at 883 pounds of payload capacity, and best-in-class cargo capacity at 131 cubic feet of cargo capacity. And of course, what is critically important to a commercial truck operator or a commercial van operator, of course, is total cost of ownership. And these vans will both boast the lowest cost of ownership of any Class 1 van in the marketplace when they hit the streets. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you very much for coming. I'm going to pass it on to Bob, who's going to get into the van in a little bit more detail, and then Bob's going to pass things over to Mike, who's going to get into some of the more technical aspects of our all-new Ram ProMaster City. Thanks. Bob?
Thanks, Reid. Good morning. You know, it's a lot of fun coming out here, seeing a great crowd like this. But I always like to step back and say, you know, what a difference a year makes. So last year, when Reid was up here, if you remember, his mic was going in and out. We had some lights flickering. But at that time, we introduced our all-new heavy duties, and we showcased the link coil suspension on our 2500s. We also came out and said, oh, by the way, this year we're going to introduce a new 6.4 liter Hemi big gas engine. And that was going to be across our 2500 through 5500 chassis lineup, area that we have been competing over a number of years. So we got that out into the market. We also said, oh, by the way, we're going to bring the first ever light duty diesel to market. So we brought that out, and lo and behold, we also said we're going to bring a Class 2 van to market with our all-new ProMaster. So you look back over the last year, and that's a lot of stuff to bring to market. And as Reid said, you look at what we've been able to do with our market share, with our sales growth, and all the volume that we've brought to market. It's because of this great portfolio of products that we've been able to deliver to the marketplace. They're products that our customers are asking for, where there's a market opportunity. So we focused on those 4 key areas that customers are looking for. Best-in-class fuel economy, best-in-class power, best-in-class payload, and best-in-class towing. So when you look across all of our portfolio, and as we deliver products, we will continue to deliver on those core pillars. So over that year, we also came out, and I love seeing this behind me, Ram Commercial. Now, I've talked to a number of you over the last few years because we introduced Ram Commercial back in 2012. And we said, hey, we could have done that when we separated from Dodge back in 2009. We could have said, we've got Ram Commercial. To go after those commercial-oriented customers, we've now got a program for it. But we knew we needed to have 3 core things in place before we could come out and say that. The first thing is you had to have a network of dealers to support our commercial customers, whether that's on the sales side or the service side. And we went out and doubled our dealer network. We looked at 90% coverage across the US within a 30-mile radius. And we were able to put that network in place. We also had to talk to the commercial customers in a way that resonates with them. What are the key attributes that they're looking for, and can we deliver products that meet their needs? And products was the last piece, the most important piece that we deliver. So a number of you will remember we came out with our Ram 1500 regular cab tradesman back in Chicago. And in 3 short months, we tripled our share in that piece of the market. That resonated, so we took that tradesman series and brought it across from 1500 through 5500 and had a tradesman series truck that met the needs of that commercial customer. We also came with the Ram CV to meet that Class 1 van customer needs. And then introducing the all-new ProMaster off that proven platform that had been in market for over 30 years, 4.5 million produced, and over 2 million still on the road. And that's what's so great about this. As we move forward, and as Reid indicated, taking a proven platform, it's been in the market since the 90s, it's on its 3rd generation, over 1.3 million on the road. We now have a great product to fulfill that Class 1 piece of the market. And when you look at the overall van segment, these vans represent about 20% of that piece of the market. And as we go out and look at it, what are these people or customers looking for when they're purchasing these vehicles? Well, the number one piece is cost of ownership. And we all know that one of the key drivers in cost of ownership is fuel economy. And this van's going to deliver best-in-class fuel economy. Reid talked about the cargo space. And this will deliver that cargo capacity that customers are looking for when they purchase these vans. Best-in-class cargo capacity. It will also be able to handle the loads. And when you think about the loads, certainly it's smaller or lighter than what you would see in a Class 2 van, but it will continue to deliver on that best-in-class attribute. And then when you get into the power, getting back to our 4 pillars, this will deliver on best-in-class horsepower and torque. And that's very important to our key customers. And when we look at it, it's really broke into 2 key areas. One, which you can understand, is that delivery guy. And we have some beautiful props back here. There's some nice flowers. So a florist, we see them around, a caterer. When you start looking at these types of vehicles, they're perfect for that type of an application. You also have the work guy, the guy who's going to go onto the job site, who's going to take this van and go out there and use this as one of his tools. It's going to get him there and allow him to get the job done. So these vans will enable that. Now, we'll also have a passenger version. So we'll have the passenger as well as the cargo, and they'll both come in 2 trim levels. So deliver on that best-in-class fuel economy, that horsepower and torque number, this will be mated with the 2.4-liter Tiger Shark, as well as the 9-speed transmission. So this is going to come to market, deliver on all of those attributes, going back to the pillars, that best-in-class fuel economy, the power with the torque that these deliver, the cargo capacity, as well as the payload. Tying back to the 4 pillars that this brand represents and what we deliver to all of our customers. So with that, I'm going to bring Mike Cairns up, who's going to get into the technical side of what these vans will deliver.
Thanks, Bob. Well, good morning. I understand I'm between you and lunch, so I'll try to keep this quick. But we're here to talk about the 2015 Ram ProMaster City. And the real big takeaway is this is a big capability in a small package. As the guys mentioned, this is based on the Fiat Doblo. And what that brings us, some really critical things. It's already a well-proven design. It's proven durability, proven reliability, and of course it comes with great Italian heritage, great suspension setup, and it's really fun to drive. Maybe not quite as much as the Alpha 4C out there, but it's close. And in this segment, those are actually really important. We think for a city delivery van, it's really important to have nimble handling so you can get in and out of tight spots, easy to park, and quick acceleration. Now, as we look at styling, you see a lot of thoughtful design went into these. And you look at the front end, it has a short hood, which is really nice because you have a high seating position and good command of the road. You can see where you are and see the front end of the vehicle to park it. You also see, similar to the big ProMaster, the headlamps are pulled up high and away from the little bumper-to-bumper collisions you might get in a city environment, so it keeps repair costs down. Now, under the hood, we put a Chrysler powertrain. So it is a 2.4-liter Tiger Shark coupled with the 9-speed automatic transmission. What that gives us is great fuel economy and really great power for a city environment. 0 to 60 times are under 10 seconds, which is good, but what we really like in the 0 to 30 times are about 3.7 seconds. That's quick, and with great nimble handling, great steering, and a quick acceleration, it's really nice in a city environment. Now, as we move on, the guys mentioned this is a passenger wagon. If you look inside, it is 5-passenger. There's comfortable 3-across seating in the rear. When the seats are up, there's still about 4 feet of cargo space behind the rear seats. And then these fold and tumble. They're 60/40, so you can fold and tumble each side separately. And when you fold and tumble forward, you have almost 6 feet of cargo space even behind that. So a really nice package that can do nice things for passenger wagon, but also carry a lot of cargo. Now, as you move to the cargo van, and after I'm done, please come up and take a look. But you can see the size back here. It's really a nice big cargo space. We have 48.4 inches between the wheel wells, which is best in class. And the reason that 0.4 inches is important, if you have 4 feet cargo building materials, you try to load them in, some of the guys are actually a little tighter than that. It can be difficult. You can get hung up. We've given the customer a little extra width so you don't have problems loading things in. When you go above the wheel wells, we're over 5 feet wide. And then the overall length in the cargo is over 7 feet long. So if you've got a 7-foot ladder, step ladder, it fits in there beautifully. Makes for a nice work truck. The other thing is, as was mentioned earlier, we have best-in-class cargo capability, capacity, 131.7 cubic feet, and best-in-class payload, 1,883 pounds. So really some significant capability. To carry all of that, the suspension setup on this is a McPherson strut front suspension, and in the rear is Fiat's designed, it's a coil spring, fully independent bi-link coil suspension. And what that gives you, it's similar to actually our Dart and the Cherokee suspensions. It really gives great ride as well as really terrific handling, and that's one of the key attributes we think of this van. We've gone to a cast iron links though for this product to handle the higher capability and payload. So really a nice setup. Now, as we look to the rear area, we have 60/40 cargo doors. And this is, again, thoughtful design by the Fiat team. You can see the handle to open, big, huge handle, very easy to grab and open. 90-degree opening, there's stops at 90 degrees, but also you can fully open to 180 degrees. And you see an example of the type of upfits we've worked with, a number of upfitters out there, to have just kind of great rack storage. The sides of the cargo area are very vertical, so you can load in these types of things or load in 4-foot wide pallets easy enough, and it really is a great setup. So this gives you an idea. We'll all be here, the team's here, and this is the 2015 Ram ProMaster City. I think we're going to have Reid and Bob come up and do some, and Rick.
And we're going to, no, not me. We're going to have the guys come over by the red vehicle for a couple of quick picks, and then we'll take some questions.
Right, we're happy to take any quick questions before we break it up as well. We'll come over here a little bit before we do.
I know that's going to be my computer wallpaper right there.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Great. Bob was blocking the grill.
By the way, they didn't tell me it was white shirt day, so.
Yeah, we should have put the black sheep in the middle.
In fact, what we told them was it was black shirt day, and then we wore the white ones.
Okay, I think we're ready to take some questions. So I'll start here and then go to Daron. Go ahead.
The minivan customers that might be jumping in the past.
Certainly some. You know, I think the hardcore cargo delivery guy that relies on his vehicle day in and day out probably won't opt for the passenger configuration. But somebody that maybe has a few vending machines, wants the functionality to transport 5 passengers Saturday, Sundays, and then go to work Monday through Friday, it could be an ideal fit for that type of demographic.
Yeah. We also see this potentially as taxi service as well, because there's a lot of cubic space behind that rear seat for baggage. And then if you're transporting people, it's a great package for that.
What do you see as a potential market for this Class 1 commercial?
This market right now, the Class 1 van this year will be probably around 70,000 units in the U.S. You know, we see that growing back up to about 100,000 units annually as the total market. And you know, the market will decide what part of share we're going to get of that market. The CV will eventually sunset, but the two vehicles temporarily will coexist.
You know what, guys? Why don't you come on up, and if you want to come up and look at the vehicles, we'll pretend it's an auto show scrum. Let's come on up.
The vehicle.
Hi, I'm Betty Carrier-Newman with the Chrysler Digital Media team. We're glad you could join us today for the live reveal of the 2015 Ram ProMaster City van. But don't go away, because we'll be right back in just a few minutes live with Reid Bigland. He's president and CEO of the Ram truck brand, and he's going to field some of the questions that you sent us during the reveal. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
This vehicle is in its 3rd generation over in Europe as the Fiat Doblo, and it's won the Van of the Year in Europe 2 times. So we've been able to bring a product that is highly successful and that commercial customers have really grown and loved in Europe, and we're bringing that to the US.
The ProMaster City has a McPherson front suspension and a bi-link coil rear suspension. As we have been doing in the Ram truck lineup, getting away from the old leaf spring style suspensions to much more modern coil springs, and that improves the ride, the capability, and the handling. The ProMaster City has best-in-class cargo volume, and that's what this van's for, carrying cargo. 131.7 cubic feet, that's awesome size. So it's really big capability in a small package. The sides of the van, when you're above the wheel wells, is actually 60 inches wide, and very vertical, nearly vertical, which makes adding upfits like racks and different things you want to put into the van much easier.
Small businesses, they're looking for every means to reduce the overall cost for their business. So the number one attribute there is fuel economy. It's one of the key drivers in reducing cost of ownership, and ProMaster City will deliver best-in-class fuel economy in the market.
This is also a front-wheel drive architecture unibody, which keeps it very lightweight and nimble for city delivery, and the front-wheel drive gives you great traction and stability. We fitted it with what is now becoming very acclaimed powertrain. It's the 2.4-liter Tiger Shark 4-cylinder, coupled with our 9-speed automatic transmission. This powertrain's in the new Jeep Cherokee and the new Chrysler 200, both getting rave reviews for a combination of great power, capability, and fuel economy.
When we launched the Ram ProMaster, we also introduced the Tradesman across that lineup. And now bringing in the ProMaster City in the Class 1 piece of the van, we have a portfolio of products that will meet the needs of our commercial customers.
Welcome back to What's New at Chelsea Proving Grounds. Well, as promised, I'm here with Reid Bigland, President and CEO of the Ram brand. And Reid, the digital audience was really busy during this reveal that just happened. So I've got a few questions for you. One question to start off with is the term all new is often used with a reveal. Let me put it a little differently. Is this an all new vehicle?
Well, that's an interesting question because it is certainly all new for the Ram brand, but the great thing about being all new to the North American marketplace is we're bringing a van and a platform that is truly a proven performer, because we're able to leverage our partner in Fiat by bringing a derivative, the Fiat Doblo, which we've just rebadged the Ram ProMaster City. And the Fiat Doblo is a 2-time International Van of the Year, a van that has sold over 1.3 million units worldwide and has gone through 3 generations of van. And this is the newest generation of the Fiat Doblo that we've homologated for North American roads, North American duty cycle, and we're very proud to be bringing that here to North America today.
Well, let's drill down a little bit now. Why, as a commercial buyer, should I choose this truck, this compact van, over what's out there right now? And there are a few out there.
There are, and it's a competitive marketplace, but really it all boils down to total cost of ownership, and we feel with the new ProMaster City it will have the best total cost of ownership of any Class 1 van on the market or, based upon our intelligence, coming to market. The ProMaster City will have best-in-class horsepower, best-in-class torque, best-in-class fuel economy, payload, and cargo capacity.
Well, in connection with that, we just got a question. What's the oil change interval for ProMaster City?
You know, I need to brush up on that. I think it's going to be around the 15,000 mile range oil change. We've been extending our oil change intervals on all of our Chrysler Group products, which in essence lowers the total cost of ownership and the increased uptime for commercial customers.
Another one of our digital audience wanted to know, okay, when can I get the truck?
The truck should be available in 6 months. Call it December of this year to the early first quarter of 2015. So the vehicle is truly just around the corner.
And of course, the question about pricing. What do we know about that so far?
What we know is pricing will be competitive. You can't be uncompetitive when it comes to pricing. So just like all of our Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram products, we're very competitive in the marketplace. We're the fastest growing automaker in the country this year. Our retail sales are up 19%, and you don't get that by being uncompetitive. So we will be competitively priced on the ProMaster City. Stay tuned for that.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Reid. I know you have places to go and people to meet. So
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Okay, and that'll do it for us. We're at the reveal, of course, it just happened, of the 2015 Ram ProMaster City. And thanks for joining us.